Ignore the lines on the screen, I can't fix them, but tomorrow you may not get a video, and I'm, right now, I love dance. Here's the thing, let me explain. I love dance so much. It's something that, training to be a pop star is something that I really want to happen one day, is to become a pop star, and it's a lot of fun training. But it's also tiring sometimes. And there are moments when I just get annoyed with it because maybe I get annoyed with it sometimes. When something's not really getting anywhere or not really improving when I've been working on it for months. And yesterday acro went really bad for me. So the thing is, I didn't get hurt or anything, but it went really bad for me, and the reasoning, let me explain, is because of the fact that, at first up, the thing is with back bends, and they're like a hit or miss. Sometimes, I do them, just barely getting there, but I'm able to do them, and then some, but that's very rare. And by very rare, I mean one acro class, I was doing and somewhat decent with them, and then, but a lot of the times they're a miss, and so they still need a lot of work, and that's okay. And that's okay. I know that they're gonna get there someday. And the thing was, so yesterday acro went really bad because first up, first thing that we did was we did some handstand related stuff where in my case it was try to kick up and attempt to do a handstand. We did a couple of them, which was good, and I'm that's really good because it's been months since I done handstands, and then, then from that point on, Abby told me to work on back bends just to, really get them to where I can do them, no problem every single time, unless something's wrong. Then, and so I worked on them for a little bit, and I was thinking in my head, I really want to work on something different and just kind of take a break from them, just because first up it's tiring. Also, it's one of those things that it was just starting to get tiring. My body was getting tired of it, and told me and a couple other people, me and one or two other people, to essentially work on kicking, work on handstands, but try to get our feet to touch our head or something, or our chin or something, and just what we can. And in my case, that means just work on handstands, and if we get handstands, then move on and try to touch our head with them or different things. And that's good. And I was working on them, and all of a sudden I body slammed so hard up against my mat that it literally slid. It literally I attempted to kick up. And then since that's what I struggle with handstands, isn't holding them, it's the kick up part, because I had my dad put essentially do a handstand, but had my dad put my feet up against the wall before, and I hold it I can do it no problem. It's the kick up that I struggle with. And I was working on that, and I body slammed so hard, I literally went up and body slammed down, having zero control, and my mat, and I was on top of my mat, so I didn't get hurt, and my mat and me, the mat just slid, it literally slid, and like I want to say at least like 2 or 3 feet, like towards the bedroom door. Cause I'm gonna like show you like the setup, like here, and up there's my computer. You can't see that, well, what's on it, which is good. And so you can tell there's a paper down there. Because that's good, because that's stuff that like I can't put out there and stuff like, because it's like logon stuff for dance, and like my mat shifted like so like my room is a pretty basic setup. There's like the door, and then there's like a wall, like an awkward like cornered like small wall section, which is where my like green screen is, and then there's like my closet, but there's like a little bit of a wall connecting the closet area, or what was the closet, but then it got turned into a recording studio then, and it was a very like tight, like small recording studio, and it just kind of seemed like creepy. Like it definitely seemed creepy. So it like became a like desk area, like a really fun little like desk area / storage area. Yeah, and then then we have like the dance hammock near that, and then we have like some shelves, and like we have this wall. Then we have this wall which has the window and the air conditioner, and then like a book. Like I'm on the bed, and then like we have like a dresser, and then some like cubby shelves, which or I call them cubby shelves because that's what like my parents called them, but they're essentially cube shelves. And then there's like my ring light and like my computer, and then my like vanity like by the door, and like a bunch of stuff. So like my room is a pretty basic setup. And the mat was towards the bed, so like essentially it was basically almost touching the bed last night. And like I was on it, and then I body slammed down, and it wasn't like, oh, I like chose to body slam down. It was, oh, I can't kick up into a handstand, like I can't get all the way up there, like I lost control, and like, cause I struggle with like controlling it sometimes. Cause if I could control it, I would have a handstand, you know. Oh, and like yesterday was really bad acro day, because it's like I got to where I can like land, like at least land somewhat on my feet and not my knees, and like I wasn't able to, not even once yesterday. So that was like in my head. And then like I body slammed down, and like the mat, like I'm on top of the mat. So like you could tell that like I body slammed it pretty hard. And the fact that it moved like 2 feet towards the door, like 2, maybe 3, with me on top of it. Like it literally slipped. And then that like freaked me out, because then I was like shook up. Like what I mean by that is like, obviously like I wasn't like freaked out by it too much. I was like, I'm shocked that I didn't go flying off of it though. Like, but in the sense of like, it was kind of just that feeling of like, whoa, that just happened, like, you know, but not like a scary like thing, because I didn't get hurt or anything. And the funny thing was that actually, well, it wasn't funny, but like I like continued working on them, and like I could like feel it in my body, like I could feel I body slammed hard, because I like took a second to like, before I like got going again, and like Abby didn't notice, so I like quickly like moved the mat back where it was, so like she could see me and stuff. And like I like for a second I just kind of sat, like not joking, it was literally 1 second, like no more than 1 second, and cause I could just feel it throughout like my body, like I wasn't like sore or anything. It was just like it was just kind of like, well, that was a lot. And then I was good to go after 1 second. But still, like, it was a bad acro day. And then, and my dad brought in my prune smoothie. Because, for those who don't know what prune smoothie is, do not come for me for this. I eat baby food prunes with apples. Do not come for me. It tastes good, okay? And like it tastes good, and I like it. And so prune smoothie is just baby food prunes with apple, mixed with white milk. And the thing is that he brought it in here because of the fact that, like, I have to take an anemia pill and I'm not allowed to, like, basically drink milk or anything besides cheese puffs, that are, like, dairy related for, like, an hour afterwards. And so he would bring it in so, like, I could enjoy it, like, through dance. Also, I did not finish dance after acro yesterday because part of me was shook up, but I was like fine. The main reasoning was because I was so I was so like out of it. Like yesterday, it was like I don't know if it was that I was like tired or what. Like I was like very out of it to the point of like the thought of going through Abby's warm up on top of that, which I'm going to get to that in a minute, was a lot. And by the way, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. I forgot to say that. But, like, I literally was, like just out of it. Like, the thought was, like, I can't go through it. Like, I physically can't. And then, there's a lot of dance this week, though. Oh, and I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not because it's just that, like, vibe of that, like, I just feel like I at least just want, like, just one day of a break where I can just breathe and recover from so much dance. And but at the same time, I'm not gonna let tiredness get to me anymore. It's not gonna be an excuse. But still, like, in a way, I'm hoping that, like, I was hoping for, like, one day of a break. Now, the thing is what I mean by every day this week, I mean, and this is the 1 week that they had to bring back Friday's acro. And I'm like, the one thing that I was, like, kind of hoping to count on was not having it this week. And I'm happy that they're having it, but I'm also, like, I need a break. Like, I just need, like, a day of, like, I don't even care if it's a day with dance, just, like, an easier, like, not a lot, like, not too much. I kind of can, like, do it and have fun, but also, like, not be super tiring sort of day. And then on top of it yesterday, and this was the thing that this was the thing that, like, I told myself I wasn't gonna do, and I, like, thought it anyways. Which is, I told myself that I'm not gonna, like, get upset. Like, I'm not gonna, like, feel like I'm hurting my friends. And by taking my moment and stuff. What I mean by that is, unless you haven't seen my last video, you might know I have 2 dance friends that are ALDC dancers. I'll say that much. They're very nice and incredible and amazing. But that's kind of like hard for me because it's not. I'm happy that they're talented and amazing because if it weren't for them, I don't think I would be working this hard in dance. And so that's why, like, part of me is like, I'm gonna do Friday. But I was also, like, hoping for a guaranteed, like, break and stuff. And, like, just a little bit of, like, a break to, like, breathe and stuff. But the thing is that, here's the thing with that, like, I'm gonna explain what happened, kind of. So the thing was that, like, Abby, like, I always seem to, here's the thing with that, I, in a way, have never thought that they weren't talented. Like, that, my thing, I always, like, kind of, like, somewhat noticed them, but for, like, the first, like, 2 or 3 times, I didn't pay attention to them when I, like, saw them on there. And that makes sense, because I was focused on myself and stuff, and not, like, seeing what everyone else is doing, because I didn't want to do that and then let it get in my head. So, like smart strategy. But then, and I realized, like, oh, it's time, like, I have to pick, like, I don't have to, but, like, the best thing for me and my training is to pick someone new. Pick someone new, and what I mean by that is, so many of my dance teachers, including Abby and Gian, have talked about, like, picking someone, and what it means, what they're referencing toward, and what they're saying is to pick someone, like, find someone in class and watch them. And when they do something, like, you want to find someone that's either the best in the class or slightly better than you, and watch them. And it causes a friendly competition, because then you see it, and then you see them doing amazing, and then it causes you to work harder, so then you can get it, and then it's like a friendly competition. And the thing was, I love that strategy. It works really well. So, like, I see what you're doing and focus on yourself, but every once in a while, just look at them and see what they're doing, and maybe try to, like, I either copy them or do better. Because that one thing about dance is that copying is not something that you, like, it's not, like, something you can get in trouble for. Copying is a huge thing that is, like, a thing that's allowed in dance. You can look at someone and say, I like what they're doing, and I like the way that they're doing it. I'm gonna do it. And you're not gonna get in trouble for it. Like, okay, I'm gonna say this, do not copy when it comes to, like, anything outside of dance. Like, especially, like, school or anything outside of dance. And now, it's also okay, like, you, like, have a friend or something, and you see, like, what they're eating for lunch or something, and you decide to, like, copy them and order the same thing, or eat the same thing, you know, like, that's fine. But, like, don't copy, like, it can get you in a lot of trouble. Well, unless it's something small like that, or, like, you see an outfit and, like, you want to be matching, then that's fine, like, some stuff like that is fine. And so, like, but the thing was that I couldn't pick between the two of them, so I kind of, like, chose both of them, since they're both very talented, amazing people. And I, like, always, like, I started, like, just keeping an eye and seeing what they're doing in class. And, like, in a way, creepy, stalking them kind of on Instagram, but not, like, too creepy. And what I mean by that is more just, like, what happened was Abby reposted something, because they posted in, like, a video or something on, I think it was their Instagram story, it might have been just their actual account, where basically they posted something from dance, and which is normal, like, people do that all the time, and Abby reposted it, and so I, like, clicked on it, and, like, I started following them, and next thing you know, they started following me, and then it just slowly, well, not even, it just kind of became an unconfirmed friendship, and then finally the other day, the other day I reposted something of that they were doing for some fundraiser thing, and I'm not going to get into details about it, although I think it was an older post, I'm not sure. But I reposted I posted it on my Instagram story. And just because I'm like in a way to get the conversation going slash I like meaning also like why not? Like I'm like I why not like just repost it or like post it on my Instagram story. I'm not even to get the conversation going. It was more like I post it on my Instagram story, and because I'm like it's a good photo, and like they're really talented dancers, and it's just being nice. And so then they I DM me and like saying thank you, and then we just like started having a conversation, and finally after I don't even know, a couple DMs or something, are we friends? Like I basically just came out like acting if we were friends, and they replied absolutely, and I'm like, okay, I got two more friends. Like okay, but then I straight up said if we're friends, and then I literally straight up DM'd them and went like, if we're friends, then when we're in dance we have to do like whatever we have to do to keep being amazing dancers, but outside of dance we can be like friends and stuff, and they're like absolutely, and I'm like, yeah, see, it's just the situation of that, like, we kind of had to do. Because everything in dance is a competition. Even just dance class is a competition. Because everyone in the class is competing to be the best in the class. And so, like, it was that situation where, like, I didn't want to compete up against my friends, but also at the same time, I'm like, it's my dream to become a pop star someday, and the fact that like I actually have a pretty good chance of that because I work really hard in dance, and Abby seems to really like me, along with one fabulous substitute teacher that I haven't seen in forever, and I really want to like just see her like again because she's really incredible and talented, named Angela. And like so many of my teachers like really like me. Like the thing is like even with Gianna never said anything like negative. Like she's given me a few corrections here and there, but that's her job as a dance teacher, and she's never like said it in like a mean way. She's like I fixed that leg there or something, like in a very nice way of like corrections when you're doing things, and she didn't even directly say that, but it's just an example and stuff. So my dance teachers love me or really enjoy me. I work really hard. I work really hard in dance, and I'm pretty talented. Like not bragging, it's just generally what I got in from Abby and stuff. Yes, I have things to work on still in dance, but also I'm a really hard worker to the point where where, I'm just gonna do it on Friday. Like that's it's the thing of where I'm gonna dance on Friday. Even though part of me just wants a break and but no time for breaks. Wait. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that. Sorry, I got sidetracked and realized that the phone holder on my ring light can come off of the ring light. Because it came already assembled kind. Well, it was already on, but I realized it just twists off. And it's a situation into where I have a good shot at becoming a pop star, but I'm also not gonna sit back and get annoyed over something that's not even real. It's been clarified. Like that thing with that yesterday. We basically straight up agreed that when we're in class, as we're competition, and we're gonna do what we need to do to keep being amazing dancers and to go for our dreams and stuff like that. And we're not gonna get upset over it. Like, we're not gonna get upset, like, in the sense that, like, I'm not gonna get upset if, like, they, like, get a like, shining moment. And they're not gonna get upset if I get a shining moment. Like, it's been clarified. Like, well, that's basically been clarified. And so, like, for some reason, and part of me is just, like, I just don't want to compete up against my friends, because it's hard competing up against friends sometimes. Especially when you know that you're doing a class that is right up one of a class that they're both, actually I would say, and they're both really talented at, and they both do really good in acro. One of them does a little bit better, and that's not me, like, being, like, rude and just from what Abby said, but they're both really talented, and they're both really amazing. And what I mean by that is Abby called one of them out yesterday, and in, like, a good way. And, like, saying that, like, they would do better in, like, the weekend acro classes, and she didn't say it about the other one, but that's not, like, but both of them are talented and really incredible. Just like, and also I know acro's not my area. It's, like, not an area that I'm strong in, and it's not something that comes easy to me. And that's okay. But also, like, I was just annoyed with myself yesterday that I started thinking that, even though it's been clarified. And also, like, that was the thing that I did want to quickly talk about, which was that with both Eva and Linnea, after we, like, here's the thing, is that with Linnea, I never had to compete up against her, if that makes sense. After we, like, really started talking through Instagram and decided that we were friends. So, like, that was a win on my end. And because we were both, like, at a good point in life, and, like, it was a win for me because I didn't want to compete up against her because she's really talented. And then, and with Eva, I had to compete up against her a couple of times, and it was hard for me every single time. Especially after we confirmed that we decided we were best friends, and that's okay. Like, here's the thing. That's also how I look at it. Is it's okay to have more than one best friend, and I say that like, there are people that, like, I'm saying, like, in the sense that we're best friends because we clicked in so many, like, right ways. And like, not joking, we literally, like, video chatted once. Don't worry, I had permission from my parents. And she's, like, not a stranger or anything because we saw each other in dance a couple of times and stuff like that. So it wasn't, like, stranger or anything. And, like, we didn't know everything about each other, but, like, we knew good enough to be like, okay, this isn't, like, this isn't a scam or anything, like, it's just a friend. It's, like, the same thing as if I met a friend in person situation. The only difference was it was on Zoom, and that other people, other people that I knew nothing about, were also on there, but that's what happens. It's not just you and one person in dance class. It's a whole dance class. And also, like, a dance teacher or that works with the ALDC. Well, actually, early at the time, I don't know about now, it's like a thing. But, like, a dance teacher was watching. So, like, it was a thing, and literally we got on video chat, and one of the first things that she said was, like, I like your JoJo shirt, and I'm like, she knows who JoJo is. And that's already like amazing. And then and she's like, I just got this JoJo shirt, and I'm like, she wears JoJo clothes. Come on, that's a good friend. Like, I like this, and like that's a good thing that I like. And then she started talking about the squad, and I'm like, is this my dream friend? Is this the dream friend that I was missing? And but like never thought actually existed, but turns out does. Like it literally like I'm just like wow. And I realized that wasn't a dream, and I'm like, but that's even better. I didn't want it to be a dream. Like, because she seems like a great person, and she likes so many of the things I like already, and I didn't even have to explain who they were to her. Like, that's just top quality. I like that. If you're watching this, Eva, secretly you were my dream friend that I never knew existed. But this time I'm like actually like competing up against my friends, and that's a little bit weird for me. But I'm also knowing that like once I get used to it, it will be fine, and it is fine. Peace out.